The human mind was not designed for the world we live in. We evolved for flat horizons, seasonal rhythms, and problems that change slowly if they changed at all. For nearly all of history, the dangers and opportunities we faced moved in straight lines. One step led to another. You hunted the same game. You planted the same seeds. You expected the same weather patterns. Linear thinking was not just effective. It was survival. But we no longer live in a linear world. We inhabit an exponential one, and most people, especially those in power, are still using Stone Age instincts to make decisions in a nuclear age. Exponential growth is deceptively quiet at first. 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8. Still manageable, but keep doubling. 16, 32, 64. By the time you reach the 30th step, you're at 1 billion. Not metaphorically, a literal billion. That's the example Peter Diamandis uses. If you take 30 linear steps, you end up about 30 feet away. If you take 30 exponential steps, you orbit the Earth 26 times. Now imagine applying that kind of growth to civilizational strategy, to energy, to housing, to dignity. That is not science fiction. That is the world we are entering. The problem is not the lack of exponential tools. It's the lack of exponential thinking. Our opponents are not 10 feet tall. They are simply older. They control systems that were designed for a time when the assumption of linearity made sense. Their empires run on inertia. Their ideologies rot in place because nothing about them is designed to evolve. And they rely on your belief that nothing fundamental can ever change. They want you reactive. They want you stuck in spectacle. But you don't beat empire by reacting to it. You beat empire by proposing something so structurally superior that the old system becomes irrelevant. As Buckminster Fuller said, you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. This is not idealism. It's strategy. What we're doing is not just running a campaign. We are modeling what future politics will have to become. Something that doesn't just chase votes, but realigns the role of politics altogether, away from performance and back toward purpose. Campaigns should be experimental prototypes of civilization, because if they're not, then what exactly are we doing? The exponential strategy isn't about virality. It's not about hijacking trends. It's about establishing gravitational mass around first principles. We don't enter their arena. We build something with such intrinsic coherence, such material promise, that it pulls people in, not with manipulation, but with meaning. The old powers cannot survive in this kind of future. Not because we overthrew them, but because they simply don't scale. They are built to concentrate power. We are building to distribute it. They centralize. We decentralize. They manage decay. We cultivate emergence. Sun Tzu warned that the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. This is not just military wisdom. It's narrative warfare. When your opponent believes that you are inevitable, that you are the future, they begin retreating before the battle even begins. Empire cannot hold when you apply asymmetric overwhelm, not just in message, but in morale. Not just in vision, but in volume. Not in the sense of shouting louder, but in the sense of speaking deeper, hitting resonant truths that their media machines cannot mimic, because they are not rooted in anything real. You don't need to tear them down if you simply make them obsolete. And yes, this scales. The same strategy can be used in a city council race or a federal run. It's not about size. It's about principle. Are you using your campaign to expand political imagination? Are you refusing to run the way they run because the way they run is broken? Are you showing the people what comes after empire, not through spectacle, but through structure? The most powerful thing a political campaign can do today is show what the post-scarcity transition could look like, locally, concretely, tangibly. and then scale it, from town to state to continent, from prototype to paradigm, from moral clarity to material abundance. We're not selling ourselves. We're not branding a candidate. We are architecting the next iteration of politics itself, built on enlightenment, not as nostalgia, but as evolution, liberty, equality, solidarity, not as slogans, but as operating principles. And we're doing it with radical sobriety. No savior complex, no messiah cosplay, just the real work of self-determined communities solving real problems in ways that scale sustainably, universally, and justly. Teilhard de Chardin once said, "The future belongs to those who give the next generation reason to hope." And let me be very clear. That is not a slogan. That is a commandment. Hope is not a mood. Hope is an obligation. And hope in this strategy is a function of architecture. We are not here to posture. We are here to prototype, because our children will inherit whatever structures we leave behind, psychological, economic, and political. The work we do now must earn the right to be remembered. And that means we do not mimic the old empires. We do not seek to win their approval or play by their rules. We replace them, not by force, but by function. Because when you build something better, something people can see, touch, and live in, you don't have to convince them anymore. They will walk away from empire on their own. That is the exponential strategy.